Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Empire Jeff TV. I'm your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Wednesday night from Los Angeles, California, man. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys doing well. Hope your week is doing well, man. We're here to talk Lakers basketball tonight, particularly JJ Redick, the head coaching staff, and just overall strategy and what the Lakers may or may not be doing heading into Friday night's preseason game, things they done since media day, some news that's come out about the dinner they had in Beverly Hills, the practices, the vibes and everything. So pull up, relax, let's chill. We go for about an hour tonight and talk about some things that we are hoping, at least I know I am, hoping to see from this team out the gate this season in what we really have not seen since 2021, right? We haven't really seen this team out the gate since 2021. We haven't seen them really bringing it since 2021 out the gate, right? They've made up gaps. They've made strides after the season started in 23 and 24. Both seasons ended up in the 7th seed, having to fight for their lives the whole second half of the season just to get there. But hopefully we get this team out the gate stronger. Hopefully we get this team out the gate more prepared, more focused, and well coached out the gate from their entire coaching staff, and give the organization, the front office, mainly Rob Pelinka, a reason that if he finds a deal that makes sense to improve this team, to do it. Because we talked on last night's show saying that not only did the players eventually give up on Ham gave up on the players, the front office gave up on the team. They kind of just buckled down. I think until the front office until the team gives the front office a reason to invest into this team's future and current roster, that the team needs to show them something. The team needs to show them that they're ready. The team needs to show them that they're committed this year. And we talked about it last night about where I feel that it starts with the leadership of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and JJ Redick's ability to control the locker room and kind of be that buffer between the players and the front office and start to sell this team really on going all in on this team if this team is going all in on itself. So I'm going to continue the mantra of I'm no longer listening to this team. I need to see this team. They need to show me. They need to show us. They need to show themselves that they can do things to get us excited again out the gate. Don't make us wait until you're the 12th seed and after February and you start to play defense again. Let's not do that this year. Let's get off to a good start this year. And the things that are coming out they're all positive. Jovan Buha of the Athletic was talking about how he said the vibes around the team. This is his 5th training camp. And he said that the vibes around the team are probably the best he's ever seen. Now, I don't know if that's on script. I don't know if that's being told to him to say. I don't know. I don't know if they're just behaving when he's around, when media is around. The players are clearly trying to show that they're happy, which is good, because last year they were clearly showing that they were unhappy. It reached a certain point where there was no coming back. Like I said, I said it numerous times last season. There's no coming back from this. There just isn't. And now it's kind of like they Control-Alt-Deleted it, right? They got a new voice in there. They've got a coaching staff. They've got trainers. They've got player development. The organization spent some money on those things, which they hadn't done in years past. Now invest in some scouting, right? now let's start going down that path. However, it's going to start for me, as I said, with LeBron James' leadership. That's when it comes to on the floor, in the locker room, as the big homie, the veteran, and the 4-time champion on the team. But then it's going to really, really depend on JJ Redick's ability to keep the team's focus, keep the team's trust and respect, keep the team's attention span locked in during film sessions, locked in during timeouts, and then really, really fall on JJ to kind of funnel that upstairs. And convince the front office, like, look, this team is bought in. This team is ready to go to work. This team is in it. Go get me what I need. when it presents itself. Go get us what we need. Now, there's a lot of things when they talked during that press conference that they shied away from. They shied away from the big man portion of it, right? They kind of danced around that. But I did like the stuff they were talking about, data science and corner crashing and things that were all in the Lakers playbook last year, apparently, but just never used. Now, for whatever the reason that may be, that just means you're destined for failure, right? If you're not using your entire repertoire of what you have to win basketball games. Now, the probably obvious reason for that is Darvin and his staff weren't inept enough to understand all of it, but LeBron James was, right? So at the end of the day, no matter how great Bron is, even at age 39, about to be 40, even in year 22, no matter how great Anthony Davis is, if they're not bought in and they're giving up on the team, if they don't want to give all they have to the team because they feel it's a wasted year, then it all just goes down the drain at that point. The coaching staff picks up on that. The front office picks up on that. The rest of the league picks up on that. And that's why they got to come out the gate strong. LeBron has to lead out the gate from the get-go. Sounds like he's doing a fantastic job at that to start training camp and practice. Can't wait to see what this team looks like on Friday, because up until that point, I need to see this team. I'm not listening to anything they're saying. I've heard this all before. We've heard this numerous times. We need to see it. They need to show it. They need to get out there and perform. We all want that. They want that. We need it. We need a good start to this season. We absolutely need it. We can't have another 2-8, 4-6, 3-7. We can't go down that path. We don't have it in us no more, man. Come on, give us a break. We can't have 3 straight seasons of starting out like that. You can't do that to us. Basketball gods, have some mercy on us, man. Don't do that to us a 3rd straight season. Give us something to be excited about out the gate, and let's ride that momentum through the NBA season. We're going to have some of the same issues we had last year. We know that. We still lack a legitimate secondary big to play with AD. We know this. We still lack a defensive backcourt in a starting lineup. We still lack a defensive-minded 3 to go into that starting lineup to help that defensively challenged backcourt. So we know this already to be true. We know that we still lack these things. We still lack all of our players. Vando, still hurt, still recovering, unavailable. Christian Wood, still hurt, unavailable. So we got guys out. Cam Reddish, which we're not worried about, but again, he's out, right? So we're already coming into training camp for game 1 of the preseason with 1 guy out. And leading up to that game, there's going to be at least 1 more guy out, precautionary, or some guy that, that'll tender a hamstring or bump the knee in practice or something. There's going to be someone else, right? There's always these ramp up injuries in training camp. They always happen. They always happen. So having said that, we're already 3 down, and there will be more in this preseason for precautionary reasons, right? But we need to figure a way to get that energy up, the intensity up, the performance up. And I think if JJ's fiery out there, I think if his team feels he's fighting for them, and I believe he will. I believe he absolutely will. I think the team will take from that. I think this assistant coaching staff will have them prepared, way more prepared than they have been, probably since the Vogel era. Because at the end of the day, you can say what you want about Vogel, but he did the work. He really did do the work. 2021, the whole team got injured. 2022, they replaced the team with a bunch of old guys. He paid the tax on that. He paid the price for it with his job, but it wasn't entirely his fault. He wasn't the best coach, but he didn't hurt us. Not that much. He wasn't great, but he did enough. He didn't cost us. Right? We need someone better than that. We need someone who is good. We can't just settle for not bad anymore. We need a leader. We need a coach that commands respect. We need a coach that can look his players in the eyes during a timeout of a crucial situation and say, I got the play that's going to bring us home. Go run it for me. And the players look back at him like, I got you, coach. Let's do this. Not, what did he just draw up? Nah, we should do this instead. Nah, Brown, call an audible. Like, we can't have that. Because whether LeBron is right or wrong in that situation, if a coach draws up a play and your best play audibles it, then the team is just in flux at that point, no matter what. So even if Braun doesn't necessarily agree with something that JJ is doing, he can't let the team see it this year. LeBron has to be better this year. I was there pretty close to action a handful of times last year. Shout out to my brother LOE. Shout out Low, man. We was right there, right by the bench, right by Rock. Could see everything, could hear things. Body language, conversations, like everything. And I'm telling you, Braun wasn't that dude last year as far as really being all in on this team. And now you can have your own feelings of whether he was right to do that or not, or he was right to kind of be passive aggressive and kind of have his tantrums. That's for you to decide. That's not for me to decide. I'm just saying what I saw. We can't have any of that this year. None of it. And the title of this video is that JJ Redick basically must be everything that Darvin Ham wasn't. And he must be, and he can't be anything that Darvin was because this team rebelled against it. And you guys know my feelings. Those who listen to the show long enough, you guys know that I'm not an anti-Darvin guy. I'm not, this was all Darvin's fault guy. I'm still not. I'm going to tell you this, though. I want to be 100% wrong on that. I'm hoping that I am 100% wrong on that. I'm hoping, because the Lakers are teeing this up. They're saying this. They're basically putting it out there and saying that it was all his fault, right? Everything was his fault. It's kind of what they're putting out there. So I'm hoping that they show up from day one and everything is just magically right. They perform great and we start winning basketball games. And the only thing that was wrong was Darvin. I hope to God that is the case. I mean, I really do. Stack of Bibles. I really do believe that. I mean, I really do hope that that is the case. I don't necessarily think it is, but I just hope that it's the case. But at the end of the day, I still stand on the fact that JJ Redick isn't going to stop guys from getting hurt. That's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. So JJ Redick isn't going to magically create a center off the bench that we don't have to hang with these bully ball centers or these like really, really tough centers. We got some guys that can run with some of the guys that stretch fives, the lanky guys. Like we got some guys that can do that. We got an athletic Jackson Hayes that can run the floor, but we don't got a chest-to-chest big. We don't have that, right? So I'm very interested to see as a result of that, what type of schemes does JJ Redick come up with? Because Darvin Ham, the 5-out offense is a very good offense. The team just never ran it right. And I feel like majority of the fan base doesn't understand truly what the 5-out offense is. I felt like I was trying to get that across a lot last year. Shout out to Trevor Lane and Lakers Nation for on their segment of their show last night, really doing kind of a good stretch and a good segment on the 5-out. Kind of warmed my basketball coaching heart there. Listening to them break down the nuances and kind of the fundamentals of a 5-out system, how it should be, because the 5-out system is not designed to have 5 people be shooters. Not at all. And the Lakers were on paper running the 5-out, but execution-wise, they really weren't. They really weren't. And the 5-out offense, you can get things out of, but you got to run it right, and your players got to do their jobs. So JJ, I know actually, is way more detail-oriented than Darvin Ham. His staff is better than Darvin Ham, so he's already ahead of the curve there. But his attention to detail, putting in the work, communication, he's going to deal with the media a lot better. I'm very interested to see how JJ deals with the media when he's frustrated, when the media is asking questions after a tough loss, when the media is asking questions after the Lakers perhaps are on a losing streak. I'm very interested to see how JJ deals with that. Very interested to see how he deals with the pressure that comes with being the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers while coaching LeBron James. Now, JJ's never going to get up there and say, I don't understand why you guys live and die with every game we play. He's not going to say that because that's stupid. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that. Even if your heart of hearts you mean well and you'll be like, just stand by us. We're in a rut. We'll be all right. Come talk to me next week. That's okay. Like, we're going to figure this out. We know what's wrong. We're working on it. But you can't say, I don't understand how people live and die with every game we play. This is not the fan base for that. That's going to blow up in your face 10 times out of 10. And Darvin just never grasped that. He would say things like the time to call out players was when Darvin first started. And he was saying that it was facts over feelings. And if you didn't play defense and he was going to hold people accountable and all this. He didn't do any of that out the gate. And then once everyone kind of started giving up on him, he started to call people out. People were like, hold people accountable, hold people accountable. Then he finally started doing it and people hated it. Why are you calling out people to the media? Because he had already lost their trust. So he didn't stand by his principles out the gate. So he never gained equity with Laker Nation or the fan base to be able to play that card when he chose to a year later. And Darvin just did not know how to balance any of that. And they should have let him go a lot earlier, but they didn't. They weren't going to. I knew that. Majority of the people who know the business of basketball knew that. But unfortunately, there were a lot of people who were just screaming for it so much that their only focus on the season was just to get Ham fired. That's how toxic it got. It was really rough to watch and listen and tune in. And you got broadcasters frustrated. Like, everyone was frustrated. Everyone. And for the right reason. I mean, like, it was a frustrating. I mean, they should have been frustrated. Everyone was frustrated. I picked a heck of a year to start covering this team. Like, covering them last year was brutal. Absolutely brutal, right? For a lot of people, not just me, but it was just my first season. It was my first time going through it. I was learning. Still learning. Going to always be learning. Just like JJ is going to be learning a lot this first year. It's going to take him time to get right. It's going to take him time, even if the Lakers start off well. Like, it's going to take him time until he has to cross a bridge or something he's never done before on the sideline, in a locker room, on a team plane, on a bus, in a film session. All these things are tough for rookie coaches in general. All of them are. So at the end of the day, there's going to be stupid stuff said. I've already heard some stupid stuff said. Like, I've already heard some of it, right? But it's kind of the honeymoon stage again. It's the the celebration of the expiration of Darvin Ham. Everyone's celebrating that. So they're gonna give JJ the benefit of the doubt out the gate. They're gonna be a little patient with him because he's got the equity I talked about that Darvin never had. JJ has that equity simply because he's not Darvin Ham. So he can't mess that up because he's got a leg up here. He's coming in with a head start. He's got to keep that momentum going. The thing about JJ that I hope I'm right on is that he strikes me as someone that's not going to back down. That if a player tests him or if a player wants to question him, I don't think he's going to be afraid of it. JJ's the type of dude that'll be like, I've got guaranteed money. I'm going to do what I want. If you fire me, you fire me. But I'm not going out like the last dude. No. He's going to be talking and someone's going to roll their eyes or someone's going to say something and JJ's going to be like, mother, what? JJ's not with it, man. JJ played in front of the Cameron Crazies, man. The Cameron Crazies. Overrated. Like, he's played. JJ has been through it. JJ came out with all the hype in the world in college and took some time to get going in the NBA. Dealt with all that pressure. Dealt with all those expectations. Dealt with the media being all over him. And he went on to have a long, successful career. So JJ's already shown you what he can do when the deck is stacked against him and he's got expectations and doesn't reach them immediately. He's already shown what he can do there. He really has. He has. So, like I said, all JJ has to do is be everything that Darvin Ham wasn't. And don't be anything that he was. He's probably going to call way more timeouts than he should just to appease Laker Nation. He's never going to have his hands in his pockets unless he's trolling. He will use his challenges. You got to understand. JJ basically has the cheat code of exactly what not to do. They gave him a list of everything they hated about Darvin. So did LeBron. An entire list of everything they hated about Darvin. Everything the front office hated, everything the players hated, everything the media hated, the fans hated. Trust me, JJ knows it all. So he's going to do everything he can to keep that momentum and keep that equity with Laker Nation, because in his heart of hearts, he knows that out the gate, he may have some struggles and he's going to need them on his side. Because for some people, shout out to my guy Reg at the locker room, man. Reg was spotted Darvin like 2 games into the preseason. He was the first. I've heard a lot of people be early. There was several. Shout out my guys at Lakers Fast Break. They were pretty early on it. Me's the GM was early on it. Reg was first. Reg was absolutely first. And I remember thinking like, damn, we giving up on a rookie coach like 2 games into the preseason of his first year? Nah, I can't do that. I'm not that impatient. But Reg was right. Lakers Fast Break was right. Mees was right. Most of the other people kind of jumped on once it was a narrative and they just needed someone to blame, but they didn't spot it. Those guys did, right? So JJ is smart enough to know when that got spotted, how that got spotted. He's prepared to do everything to turn the vehicle the complete other way. If Darvin was going north, JJ's going south. He's going nowhere near where Darvin was. And that's smart. And that's why I say that JJ Redick has to be everything that Darvin Ham wasn't. And if he is, and he does the things, doesn't do the things that the Laker fans and the front office are basically carved in the stone of what not to do, then I think he's going to have a little longer leash out the gate. I think he's going to have a chance to maybe hit some bumps because it's going to happen. But I don't think in a million years there's any way that this team comes out less prepared, less ready to play, less motivated, less focused. I just hope that this team comes out more healthy. That's what I hope. Appreciate y'all being here tonight, man. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you here with me. I appreciate that. Went a little long here, about almost 30 minutes without checking in on y'all. Sorry about that, but I'm working my way back into basketball, dusting off my basketball mind here. I've been buried in baseball, just getting back into the swing of things, getting reaccounted with Laker Nation again, getting back in here, man, as I come back from my 2-month hiatus / break. So I had a lot of things. I watched Media Day a couple of times. I watched the press conferences a couple of times. Started reading the articles out there, seeing what's what. Checked in with some few people, see what's what. And the story is right now from pretty much every direction, whether it's the machine pushing it, whether it's actual factuals, whatever it is sounding like this team is excited. It's sounding like there's good vibes all the way around. It's sounding like the guys that were kind of given no chance last year are getting chances this year. It's sounding like everything is trending in the right direction. The only problem with that is that it's sounding like that. I need to see it be that. I need to see things going in the right direction, not hear about them. Again, I'm no longer listening to this team. I need to see this team. We need to see this team They need to show themselves and they need to show us. Show up, perform, start this season well. And we back in business, baby. We back in business. At the end of the day, that's all we ask for. We got to crawl before we walk. As a Laker fan, I think we just settle for anything not 2-10, 3-7 out the gate, man. Let's just get us something to be happy about. Give us something to look forward to. Give us something when we halfway through the day, like, man, we got a Laker game tonight. Let's go. Lake Show, baby, run that. Like, that's what we want. We don't want to be like, oh, man, the Lakers play tonight. Man, the Lakers play tonight. Who's excited about the Lakers playing tonight? Y'all ain't with me? Y'all ain't. You know we got Bron and AD, right? Like, y'all really ain't. Because that's what kind of last year was, right? That's kind of what last year was. Elder, I see you, my guy. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for pulling up. I see you, man. It is it's long overdue, man. It's long overdue. They owe us. They absolutely owe us, man. So again, appreciate y'all. Let me tap into some of these chats. Way behind, man. Daniel Berry, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. One Peruvian guy said, fire Rob Pelinka. We firing people before the season starts. Let's go. Daniel Berry says, Dodgers, Padres. Yes, sir. SD versus LA. Bring it on. Let's go, Dodgers. I'm telling you, man. Craig, what's going on, Craig? Appreciate you, man. Dan Inspiration. Appreciate you. JJ Sealing can be like Brad Stevens. He has the brains like Brad, but his floor might be Steve Nash as a coach. Here's the thing. Brad Stevens actually has turned out to be a better executive than a coach. He was a very, very, very good college coach. He was a good NBA coach. It couldn't seem to get things right in the playoffs. He kind of got mixed up a little bit there and then became a very, very good executive. But I like the comparison. Brad Stevens was the guy that I wanted the Lakers to hire. And then Boston got him. And I was like, son of him. But I like the comparison. I like Brad Stevens. I do. JJ, I think, is way more fiery than Brad Stevens. Rondo basically got traded out of Boston because he was trying to punk Stevens, right? JJ's much tougher than Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens was more anti-confrontational. JJ's not like that. But the brain, I get what you mean. The basketball intelligence and the IQ, I think you're right about that. Chris, the art director. Salute, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in as always. Good to have you. Good to have you here. Craig says, Lakers are going to be a guard-oriented team so far. Well, they're going to be a guard / wing-ish, even AD but playing like on the perimeter at times. But yeah, they're not gonna be a team that features a bunch of bigs that can, they've got some guys that can run the floor that are bigs in pace and space, but not a clog the paint type of big team by no means. Elton Kaparka, I'm just gonna call you Elton. I don't want to butcher your name here. He said LeBron James twisted that he has no expectations this season for the Lakers. Yeah, that was one of the quotes. That was one of those Braun quotes that we get kind of every year. And I don't understand it. And I understand because he's trying to temper expectations, or if things don't go right, then he can be like, well, I told you guys not to expect it. Whatever the meaning is. That's one of the things that I talk about leadership from LeBron this season and what we need. And that's one of the comments I didn't love. Like, the young guys are going to hear that. The guys who are trying to make leaps this year, the guys who are trying to take their game to the next level, the Max Christies, the Austin Reeves, the JHSs, like all these guys, like basically said there's no expectations this year. Now, he's probably told them something different. The team he's probably saying, like, what I say to the media, what happens here is us. Like, I'm sure he's got those boxes checked. However, I don't love that comment. I believe it was something on the lines because the expectations because of JJ, right? He's a rookie head coach and all this. I think he's trying to take the pressure off of JJ, but it's kind of the wrong way of doing it, in my opinion. But I mean, he's a leading scorer in NBA history, man. I mean, he knows way more about this game, way more about the politics than I ever will. I just don't like it, but maybe he has a reason for it. Maybe. I don't know. Mr. Laidback 808, what's going on, man? Here we go again. Padres versus Dodgers. Go Dodgers. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Big baby, what's going on, my guy? Like LeBron said, there's no expectation, so it is what it is. Make sure to subscribe to Big Baby Sports, man. He got a channel over there. Make sure to pull up on Big Baby. He covers the Lakers all seasons long. Salute, Big Baby. How you getting $50 million, but then said he has no expectation for the Lakers? Kobe will never say something like that. Yeah. Again, I I don't do the Kobe would never thing. That thing has ran its course. Kobe's my guy, my favorite player ever, my personal GOAT. But everyone trying to hold everyone to Kobe, like Kobe wouldn't even like that. You know what I mean? He spoke on that, So, but at the end of the day, excuse me. Yeah, I didn't like the comment, man. Big Baby says, well, LeBron says don't put expectations on them yet. Here we go, another season. I think it was more or less just trying to I think I can't speak for him. I am assuming here. I am strictly assuming here. I feel like he said that because in his own kind of way, he was trying to give JJ some room here. Like I said, I don't love it, but that's what I'm assuming. A lot of people don't want to come to the Lakers because of LeBron, says Elton. I mean, I don't know. I know there's some guys, who don't want to play. And there were guys who didn't want to play with Kobe. There's guys who don't want to play with Bron. Like, I understand that, but there's also guys that do want to play with Bron, right? No, nobody's perfect. LeBron said out of his own mouth he tried to recruit a lot of great players. He got denied a lot. Well, yeah, so he did try. So it's like you could try to go to the store and get something you want. If you don't got the money to get it, and you're not a criminal that's going to steal it, you just can't get it. So LeBron tried to get Clay. He tried to get, DeRozan. He tried to get guys that the Lakers just weren't in the payroll to get. Like they weren't really realistic. They really weren't. Like, it wasn't about Clay. It wasn't about him not wanting to play with LeBron. DeRozan wasn't about not playing with LeBron. He's tried to do it twice. It was a team thing. The team's finances are kind of mucked up right now. They're like right at the second apron. They're kind of handcuffed. They really are. Mr. Laidback says, people said the same thing about, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Kobe's my guy. But the difference between me and a lot of these like Kobe fans or like Jordan or LeBron fans is I could be critical of my GOAT. I watched every second of Kobe Bryant's career. I was there for all of it. I was there. I was watching wide-eyed when he got drafted by Charlotte and traded to the Lakers. I saw him playing All-American in the McDonald's All-American game. I watched some of his high school games when they had him on ESPN. I was at Venice Beach when he played there and hurt his hand. I was at his first summer league game at the Long Beach Pyramid. I was there at the preseason game where he crossed over Philly and dunked, and Chick was like, did you see that move by that kid? Like, so at the end of the day, most of these people who talk that Kobe stuff saw him later in his career. I was there for all of it. All of it. It's really hard to out Kobe me. You know what I mean? It really is. There's dudes born in like the mid to late 90s, early 2000s that try to out Kobe dudes that lived the whole thing. YouTube ain't gonna get you there. It ain't gonna do it. But what I'm saying is, I could be hard on Kobe. I could be like, come on, Kobe, what are you doing, man? Like, that's not it, Kobe. That's not it. So if I could do that with Kobe, I for sure can do that with Bron. Kobe was no angel. Kobe was not perfect. Kobe could frustrate you, but Kobe, man, could give you some of the greatest moments as a fan you could ever wish and hope for. So at the end of the day, they all have good and bad. Elton said, this man played with more Hall of Famers in their prime than Kobe did and top 75 players. I mean, again, LeBron's way of carrying himself, LeBron's way of dealing with humans in general was different than Kobe's. Kobe wasn't a very friendly guy like early on. He wasn't a very team-oriented, hang out with his teammates guy. They're different personalities. It wasn't until Kobe later in his career when he kind of just loosened up a little bit and wasn't wound so tight. It really was after he knew he wasn't going to win no more. After he tore his Achilles and he pretty much knew, look, I'm out here, I'm playing, but my days of competing at the highest level for the Larry O'Brien trophy are gone. He lowered his guard. He let people in. And I feel like that's the Kobe that a lot of people remember. The assassin Kobe, the Black Mamba Kobe. I know they use that in like terms. But the reality is a lot of these guys remember the nicer Kobe than the crazy Kobe. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these dudes weren't watching it back then. people don't just accept the fact that a lot of cats don't want the Laker drama. Lakers, being a Laker comes with drama. The Lakers come with drama. It's all in the game. It's all in the game. Playing for the Lakers, number 2 media market in the country, biggest brand in the sport. It comes with the territory. That's real. I got no pushback on that. LeBron handpicks the player and the coach lose with them, but everyone gets the blame. But you just don't like LeBron. I mean, we continue out here. JJ better be ready because Bron will backdoor him. You just do not like LeBron James. And I don't, I mean, it's not that I'm not read your comments, but I don't want to come off like I'm bashing Bron because I'm reading all of these either, right? Jose, what's going on, Jose? Minimal moves by the Lakers this summer. Doesn't matter. This season is going to be super fun. Interesting. Go Lakers. I like your positivity, Jose. We hope so. Like I said, I want nothing more than this team to show me that everything that went wrong last year was strictly because of Darvin Ham. I would love that more than anything. I'm hoping that to be the case. I just don't think or know if it will. I'm hoping that is the case. I really am. Like I said, stack of Bibles. I'll put my hand on it. I really hope that I'm wrong. I got to see them though. I really got to see them. And I've grown tired of listening to this team, like of just listening to what they got to say, same thing over and over. Like, show us, man. Get out there and play. Get out there and show us what you can do. You said Bronny James will save the Lakers. Mr. Layback said, sorry, bro. I believe Darvin stopped coaching in the middle of the first season. He didn't know how to coach the fourth quarters of games. He didn't use his timeouts and challenges correctly. No, I mean, again, I hear you. But what I'm saying is this, and this is why I want to see it. Darvin, I feel, realized, I've often said that he never should have been hired in the first place, right? I still believe that. I think everyone believes that, but I was saying it before. Like, my thing is I think Darvin realized that he was in over his head early. I think he then realized that he didn't hire the proper staff to help him navigate those waters. Then when he went into year 2, not adding anyone to that staff to strengthen that was the final blow, really. When everyone was asking me, not this past summer, but the summer before that, what do you want for agency? I'm like, a legitimate coaching staff. That's what I really wanted. It just never came and never happened. But my thing with Darvin is, I don't necessarily think Darvin quit. Well, I mean, I think they all kind of quit on each other at some point. But what I'm saying is, I just think that the elevator stopped them going up. I think it got to a point where he couldn't do it on his own without a reliable staff. And he wasn't capable of doing the things. But my also thing is also knowing, from a coaching perspective and a background, when you don't have a solution to the problem, a timeout isn't going to fix nothing. It's not. In a lot of cases, it actually makes things worse. A lot of coaches adopted the same philosophy in the playoffs, if you go back and watch. So like I said, the same narratives that a lot of Laker Nation holds on to really isn't the real problem. They're just narratives that kind of get talked about on show after show after show. And eventually people start coming up with their own ideas and ideologies and just start cookie cutting it, right? But if you really just lock in and watch the games, you can see straight on what a lot of these problems were. Now, if you have a head coach that has a scheme, that has proper strategies and assistants that can navigate, like I said, those waters, and that could make use of their timeouts, then you overuse them to a point because you can correct things. But Darvin and that staff, Darvin is a developmental coach. Most of his guys were developmental guys. None of those guys were going to out X and O anybody on that side because they didn't have like a basketball like genius or like a basketball like protege, like nothing like prodigies. They didn't have any really genuine basketball mind on that bench. So a timeout just wasn't going to save nothing. And that was always my argument. Timeouts are very beneficial when they're able to be used as intended. But when you can't do anything with them, then you're just throwing them away. LeBron has gotten about 6 coaches fired. JJ might be 7. He does not like LeBron. Purple and gold, what's going on, bro? What's up, Jeff? I don't like his comment about no expectations on the teams. Unfair for JJ being first-time head coach. That's BS. Your thoughts, Empire. Yeah, I spoke on that a few times. So I don't like it. I don't. Like I said, I'm willing to assume and give kind of the benefit of the doubt that he's probably just trying to say that publicly, but he's saying something else to the team. That's what I'm hoping is the case. I can't speak for any certainty, obviously, but again, that's just what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. But at the end of the day, one second, guys. I think, sorry, I did respond to a message. Okay. At the end of the day, sorry about that. There we go. I think he's got his bases covered in the locker room with that. I don't think he just goes and says that without kind of like that being kind of a strategy. LeBron's very calculated, kind of like the opposite of Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham would say stuff and it would fly out there and people are like, what? He just said, what? What? Everyone thought Darvin was just nuts. Every time you know what it must be like that every time you say something, someone just gives you the stank face, just like, damn. Every time. Every time. And I think that Braun is much more calculated than that. Much more. What's going on, Joseph? LeBron has played for 11 coaches in 22 seasons. Man, 50%. Shando, what's going on? JJ is a competitive dude with a high IQ. Those guys always find a way to win. Yes and no. You got to have the players. Your stars got to be healthy, right? So, again, my thing has always been, too, that not just removing Darvin, but are we going to remove this witchcraft that is on this team health-wise? Like, is that something are we going to get a break this year? Braun and AD were healthy for a good bulk of the season last year. But the problem is the other guys weren't. And then Austin came into the season just completely burned out from FIBA. So my thing is, are we going to get some healthy players this year? And like I said, we already got Vando hurt. We already got Christian Wood recovering from surgery. Same with Vando, technically. We've got Cam Reddish hurt. Now, Cam, not as important as the other two. But I heard something, was it today? I forgot who said it, so forgive me. I heard someone else say it, that they felt like JJ was more Team Jackson Hayes than Christian Wood because he was his vet in New Orleans on the Pelicans. That he's got a history with him. He was his vet. And that they feel that he's going to have Jackson Hayes higher up the totem pole than Christian Wood. That was interesting to me. Oh, God, I wish I remember who said that. If you guys heard that somewhere else, let me know who said it because I want to give them credit. But we already have guys hurt. So at the end of the day, even if JJ is smart and got a basketball IQ and he's fiery, which all these things are true, if his guys are hurt, your brain can't get on the court and play for them. You know what I mean? I want to know this year, the Lakers make the playoffs and get swept, who will get the blame? Because everyone blamed the coach last year. But they didn't get swept last year. I mean, close enough, but they didn't get swept. But, well, they didn't just blame the coach, Elton. A lot of people blame D'Lo. So here's the thing. Majority of Laker fans blame Darvin Ham. Majority of LeBron fans blame D'Lo and Reeves. Majority of LeBron haters blame Bron. Like, there's so many different packs and pockets of Laker Nation and player stands, and like there's like different blame pointed in each direction. Honestly. Shando says, I think the guys having their direction will definitely help the guys. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Satro, what's going on, my guy? Salute to you. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Make sure to drop a like on the video, guys, if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, man. You can become a member as well for less than the cost of lunch. You can become a member for an entire month, man. Member-only videos, member vlogs, and some giveaways. Go ahead and hit the join button. or the link is in the description to become a member. Become a member. There's 3 different tiers of membership. Shout out to all those who are members already. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. I saw you in here earlier. Shout out to all the members. Love having you a member of the team, man. While I'm at it, you can also get your MLB, NBA, and NFL gear and more. Make sure to use our link to get special discounts. And your purchase also helps to support the channel because the good people of Fanatics have partnered with the channel. And when you hook them up by ordering through them, they hook us up because you used our link to order it. Now, your order experience will not change. They just take care of us for you guys taking care of them. So for all your sports gear, your memorabilia, anything, and you shop at Fanatics, please use our link. It's a great way to help support the channel. And, we appreciate those who have also done so already. Let's see. Joe says, JJ missed almost every shot in the 2009 NBA Finals. Yeah, JJ had a rough start to his career. He absolutely did. There's no doubt about that. But like I said, he rallied back from it. He faced those expectations head on. He didn't have the success out the gate that he would have loved to, obviously. And he bounced back from that and had a very long and successful career as a good role player. Maybe a slight above average role player at times. But he made up for it. JJ never won a ring in his career, so he got something he's going to want to prove too. Well, yeah, I mean, of course. DJ, what's going on, my guy? Make sure to subscribe to DJ and Lakers in 5 over there, man. Great channel, good guy, great content, multiple different types of content over there. Make sure to go subscribe to Lakers in 5, man. Pausing his workout from those push-ups and those dips to shout out y'all in the chat, man. Salute, DJ. If you driving tonight, drive safe, brother. Lakers have the same team from last year, and they will be fighting again for a play-in. Well, again, Elton, the hope is, H-O-P-E, is that just removing Darvin Ham and putting in anybody will help solve that, a lot of those problems. And hopefully guys remaining healthy will help solve that. And hopefully having a locked-in LeBron James and a leader in LeBron James, hopefully this year. The hope is that just the removal of Darvin Ham fixes everything. I'm not sold on that. I want to be. That remains to be seen. Even if they get off to a decent start, this has to last an entire season, right? It's a long season. Not as long as baseball, but it's a long season. They don't play every day, 6 months. It's a long season. And that's it just if you just play the regular season, right? So the Lakers have a lot of showing us. They've got to perform. And if these guys, under a new head coach, some new confidence, and some health, then maybe, just maybe, they can go further, man. And that's exactly what we're hoping for here. JJ Def has a template on what to do. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely going to be more prepared than Darvin. That's for sure. Rob and Jeannie love to make moves and then duck when ish don't go right instead of admit they took the L, whether Russ, D'Lo, Vogel, Ham, etc. Well, Vogel didn't go bad. It just ran its course. D'Lo, we don't make the playoffs pretty much either year without him. The real disaster was Russ. Because, I mean, if you really think back on it, if you go back to it, if they don't trade for Russ, like if they don't have Russ there or they were able to offload Russ, then maybe, and I don't know the answer to this. I'm saying just maybe the beginning to Ham's coaching tenure isn't as bad, right? You're already a rookie head coach. You're coming in, you're coaching the Lakers. You're coaching the Lakers with LeBron James. You're coaching the Lakers with LeBron James a year after they didn't make the playoffs, and you've got the Russell Westbrook situation. That's way too much for a rookie head coach to take on. I don't care who it is. Even if JJ, that'd be too much for him to come in that same time frame. So I can't help but wonder, like, if Russ wasn't here, maybe Darvin gets off to a little better start, right? But who knows? Probably not, but I'm just saying that situation he walked into was bad. The locker room hates Austin Reeves for some reason. It's weird. You ever talk to bro about it? The locker room? Oh, you talking about the show? Yeah. Reggie does not like Austin or D'Lo. Shout out to Reg though. That's my guy. He does not like Austin or D'Lo Didn't like Ham. Reg is a really big Bron guy. You know, he's a big LeBron James fan. He's a Laker fan too. You know, I know he was out here in LA, but he's a Bron guy, right? And he sees as D'Lo and Reeves as guys who are wasting years of LeBron just by being a starting backcourt of his. That's just his opinion. Yeah, we talked about it. He just that's just what he believes. And bro, there are so many channels with wild philosophies on things. I'm sure people think the same thing about me, right? So it just is what it is. Those are people's opinions. You really can't change it. Shout out to you again, Elder Man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, bro. Got to get you on here to talk some hoops soon, man. Just kind of getting back into the flow of talking basketball. You know, I've been out here talking baseball for the last couple of months. So getting back to the swing of things, bro. I remember back when we were hollering for none for Reddish swap. Then we get Reddish and he has. That's the thing. The Lakers fans, a lot of them think the grass is always greener. Then you get that grass and you realize that grass is just as bad as the one you had on your lawn, right? So it'd be the same guys who want the White, Boogie, McGee, Mark Jackson. All those same dudes want that until it would blow up in their face. And then they would find a reason to blame while it's someone else's fault as to why what they absolutely knew would fix this team didn't work. That pretty much sums it up. But you're right about that. Low-key, I felt Reddish could have been like Wiggins in 2022. Nah, I try to tell you, man, every year after year after year, I try to tell you about Cam. No one's going to reach his untapped potential. Cam is who he is already. There's nothing coming. Nothing. Savage, what's going on, my guy? I love that Max is always with Bron in post-practice shooting. Yeah, this is make or break a year for Max. I know he got paid, but I'm talking about make or break it from are you going to be counted on in a rotation? Lakers will win the NBA Finals. They got Bronny James. Trolling. Keep trolling. Shando says, surreal Bron practicing with his son and Max, who was born the year he got drafted, feels crazy. And he's still that dude to this day, legit living your dream as you imagine. Yeah, shout out to Bron for that, man. Shout out to him for that. JJ never coached in his life. You're right about that. But Pat Riley never coached in his life until he did. Spoelstra never was a head coach in his life until he did. Same with Pop, same with all these dudes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that he's going to be one of those guys. But I like his mentality. He has a mentality in line with some of those guys. Now we got to wait to see how it translates to the floor. Savage says Dalton playing the 2, Max is playing the 3 in practice. Yeah, I think those guys could be interchangeable too, hopefully on defense. You know, they say that Dalton added another 5 to 10 pounds. If he could work on that defense and get some switching out there, he definitely has the ability to probably be a better defender than Reeves because of his length and height, and then as well as Max. So using those guys, those young legs with some bounce could definitely help some of the defensive and wing concerns that I have for this team, man. Dodgers in 5, said Big Baby. Man. This is what we are hoping for. I mean, I'm hoping for Dodgers in 3, but I'll take Dodgers in anything as long as it's Dodgers winning that series. Dan Inspiration says LeBron is passive aggressive. Kobe straight aggressive because he ain't passing the ball. Oh man, they're just 2 different type of personalities, man. 2 different types of guys. Savage says facts. Jeff Braun could recruit all he wants. Lakers ain't making trades if they don't think it's worth it. And that's the thing. Like, you got to understand their timelines are different. The Lakers are worrying about now and later, right? LeBron's worrying about now. And if you had 28-year-old LeBron, even 32, 33-year-old LeBron, then yeah, forget them picks, man. Empty the clip. But when you got 39-year-old Bron, 31-year-old AD, and at some point you have to really start thinking about how am I going to build this team around AD when Bron is gone? How am I supposed to tell AD that we can't give you a team because we spent it all on your and Bron's run? We have nothing to use to upgrade your roster, your team when it's yours. They have to think about these things, and don't think that like when AD was signing these extensions and meeting with the team and talking with them, don't think that these things weren't discussed. For all we know, behind closed doors, AD could be the one to be like, yo, don't throw away my future. I want to retire here. For all we know, that could be happening. You got to be realistic here. He's the future star of the franchise, right? You know, he's 31 years old, but I'm saying he's the guy that you're also building with. And they did say in the offseason he was going to have a lot of say. But again, it just comes down to what you believe and what you don't believe. But don't be surprised if AD has already had conversations with them about his future and the team's assets for that future. So you got to be open-minded to that too. Kobe is my go-to, man. Kobe is my GOAT. He never ran to win. No, that's my GOAT for sure. Appreciate you, Elton. And again, you're free to have your opinion. I'm not, like a lot of people, if you bash Bron, you bash Kobe, anything people say, a lot of these guys get tight about it. Look, I'm just here to cover the sport, to cover games, to do all this stuff. I just say it from my perspective. So I appreciate everyone's perspective. As long as people don't get disrespectful to me or the chat or other people, which you're not doing, that everyone's welcome here, whether you're a Laker fan or not, whether you're a Kobe fan or not, Bron fan or not, everyone's welcome here to be part of the conversation. As long as everyone treats everyone with respect, you're free to give your opinion. So I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. Festo, what's going on, man? Bron got bigger issues. I think I know where you're going with this. I'm gonna leave it alone. You'll be in drama regardless what team you go to. Bucks fans hated Bledsoe and Matthews hard before they traded for Jrue Holiday. Yeah, but bro, look at their social media followings for the Bucks, and then look at the Lakers. Look at the media coverage. Look at the national TV games. Look at the clicks. It's not the same world, bro. What's funny is Dame, to me, is not that good of a fit with Giannis. Not only does Dame hate being there, Giannis don't need to be fed. Shaq Beal would have been a better fit. Dame would be better in Phoenix. Yeah, I mean, Dame never really wanted to go there, right? He wanted Miami, but he had to settle for something. And rather than being sent to Detroit or something like that, he kind of like backdoored a deal to Milwaukee. And we'll see how long he's there for, right? Maybe if it doesn't go right this year, maybe he is out of there, right? But him as a fit, I mean, he's a guy that can shoot the ball, put the ball on the floor, create his own shot, clutch. I mean, I see him as a fit with Giannis. I just don't see him as a fit in the backcourt with Beasley like they were last year, because in their backcourt actually is worse than ours defensively. So the problem is you got Dame, but then you had no defensive backcourt back there with him. That was the problem. Here goes Festo. I ain't saying that name on my show, man. What's up, Festo? What's up? Did Phil Handy have beef with players? He seemed to get into a lot of guys' face half the time. I mean, he's just fiery. He's fiery. But I've got my own opinions on the Handy situation. I think he's an incredible player development guy. He's had his run. He's a brand name. But there's a lot of Phil Handys out there. There's a lot of guys that can do that. He's just the name, right? You guys know the name. Phil Handy, we got our young guys on this team that didn't develop under his watch. So there's only so far your brand name can get you unless you're seeing it translate onto the floor. Phil Handy's probably a guy that's better off not being part of an NBA coaching staff and probably just doing his own independent training. Because most of these guys, especially top guys, that's what they have. They don't use a lot of the team's guys. Like Bron, AD, those guys, they have their own guys. Phil Handy is supposed to be locked in on like the Austin Reeves, the Max Christie's, the Maxwell Lewis's, the JHS's of the world, like player development. Those are the guys he's supposed to be working with. And there wasn't enough improvement on those guys to justify his reputation and his resume. And he was part of one of the worst Lakers coaching staffs in history. So they wiped the slate clean. Phil Handy not being on this team changes nothing this year. Nothing. Him coming back tomorrow changes nothing. That guy's not going to have a big enough impact on this team. It wasn't going to happen. That's no disrespect. Not at all. He was getting technicals on the bench last year. A developmental coach was getting technicals from our bench. And there's people like with a straight face said to let Phil Handy be the head coach. I can't. Whoa, I cannot. Say even with Bron. Yeah, his money was guaranteed. He was fine with it. Shando says, if you do a timeout, gives time to chill, it cools off the other team buzz. Not necessarily, Shando. Depending where you're playing, especially on the road, you call a timeout, sometimes you get that arena popping. That's not true, bro. Again, it is. I understand the cliches. I understand the narratives. This is what you guys have been told your whole lives. If you go back and look at data, the data does not prove that timeouts stop runs. Go look at the data. But because you've been told that your whole life, you believe it. It's just a fact, though. Now, I am one that believes that my team is getting their butt kicked I'm going to call a timeout. Just because I'm telling you the stats and what everything lines up to, and I say the narrative, it all comes down to philosophy, your strategy, how you use timeouts. Phil never did that. Now, I understand that well, Phil's a such and such time head coach, but he did that as a rookie. He did that before he had any equity. But again, people grab on the narratives that suit their agenda and their narrative. But there's a lot of guys who held on to timeouts, a lot of guys who held on to challenges, including the guy who taught Darvin to do that, Coach Budenholzer. And he's won a championship and just got hired again by the Suns. That team still won him. Darvin is not abnormal for doing that. A lot of guys today do that. A lot of guys prefer to have 2 timeouts down the stretch of a game. A lot of guys. Coach in Boston's the same way. He does the same thing. Mazzulla, same thing. Some guys coach on strategy. Some guys coach on feel when it comes to timeouts. Some guys work in the middle. I was in the middle. I had a strategy, but if my gut told me I need to burn one now, I burned one. But I coached against guys that were dead set on having 2 timeouts in the final minutes. Sometimes that benefited them. Sometimes it didn't. So like I said, calling timeouts in an era where possessions were less, pace was less, is different than today. Different than today. You can get 3 possessions in a minute in today's game. So it's just different. And people just live with these old narratives. And I'm one here saying that I'm a guy who used timeouts, right? So but I'm just trying to tell you that it wasn't just Darvin that did that. I was making fun of people all playoffs. I was like, look at them, look at them paying tribute to Darvin Ham. Look at them paying tribute to Darvin Ham because so many guys did it, the same thing. But it didn't get called out because the narrative didn't suit their agenda. Savage says, Jeff, Braun and AD probably won't play Friday. Hope JHS plays a lot and shows he can crack the rotation. Also wish Koloko was cleared, but the NBA needs to make sure. So I understand. Yeah, I mean, this is life. You got to be careful here, right? That was a life-threatening situation. You got to be 110% correct, right? But yeah, I haven't heard anything about Braun and AD, but typically if they do play, it's like the first few minutes of the first game and then they're out of there. I'm looking at guys like JHS. I'm looking at guys like Max Christie. I'm looking at those guys, Dalton Connect. Not even necessarily too much D'Lo and Reeves. Those are the main guys. Can these guys be contributors? Jackson Hayes. Like, what are these guys offering us this year? What can they give us? That's what I'm looking at. Mission 24, what's going on, man? Seen the Lucky video with the Snoopy toy. Shout out to Luck. Where is Luck? He's around here somewhere. I just heard him. Shout out to Lucky. Yeah, he was not happening. So Lucky, of course, is a beagle. He's a tricolor beagle. Snoopy's just a straight up, white beagle, right? So my wife has decided that we're going like full-fledged like Snoopy theme this Christmas, right? She got Snoopy inflatables, Snoopy Christmas dolls, Snoopy, like it's just Snoopy everything, right? So she starts messing with Lucky and shows it and put it on the floor and turned it on and he just lost his mind. So if y'all didn't see that video, man, make sure to go check out my shorts. I got my dog, my pup Lucky on there. My wife brought out like a Christmas kind of, I don't know what you call it, decoration, figurine, whatever. Put it on the floor and turned it on. And my dog Lucky wasn't having it. He was like, oh, hell no. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I had to film that. He was going at it for like 5 minutes. I caught like a minute of it, but oh my God. He walked up to it and slapped it with his paw. I didn't catch that part, but man, Lucky's a character, y'all. But appreciate you, man. I'm legitimately going to give Lucky like his own channel. Just film him doing what he does. This dog is mad entertaining, man. He's comedy. The personality in this dude is wild. But appreciate your mission, man. Check out that short. Lucky isn't having it. Hilarious, man. Appreciate you. Purple and Gold says, I like JJ's demeanor so far, though. A little bit of arrogance and respectable a-hole, like my guy DJ said. Like, as if, yeah, I got this saying with one of my friends because he's kind of a jerk. I'm gonna call him like, you're an a-hole, but you're my kind of a-hole, right? Like I get it, right? So that's kind of JJ. I just don't like JJ sitting on stages at press conferences with his legs crossed like that. I'm like, JJ, you gotta stop that. Nah, man, no, you can't do that to us. God, no. You can't do that to us. Just no. Festo says, Lakers are terrible. Be honest, new coach with no experience won't help. Clearly, Festo is in midseason form already here tonight. I know Lakers need a backup center, but what if Gabe is still trash, also needs another wing? Yeah. I don't think Gabe will be trash. I think Gabe was injured. I don't think there's any way Gabe is not going to give us more than he gave last year, right? Because he's going to be on the floor. I think Gabe will give us something. Does Gabe finish the season here? I don't know. They didn't have the mid-level this year, so theoretically, the way to acquire a mid-level money player is to move Gabe, right? And probably a mini. So depending on his play, depending on D'Lo, depending on JHS, connect, all these things, Gabe's time here is to be determined right now. Purple and Gold said he also came from Coach K's basketball tree. Yep. And Coach K was pushing for him. Like I said, he's got things going for him. A lot of the times though, it's going to be tough for a guy who's a rookie to take this job, just like with Darvin. It just is. But at the end of the day, he wanted it. And the difference here is, I don't believe, I checked on this because when they hired Darvin, I was like, man, don't tell me we got the guy that nobody wanted. And I checked around and he never turned down, from what I could find, he never turned down a job. He was never offered one and then he passed on it. JJ passed on a few. Like, people were checking in on him. And he politely declined. I heard at least 2. So to me, at least he was in some demand. There were people who spotted him and thought that they could snatch him up before other people took notice. That I do like. Now it just has to translate into wins on the court. Believe it or not, we lost in 2021. Mad fans were rioting, including Dan, that we need a big change and we must get a star. Mofos really wanted Russ. To be honest, dude looked great before. Yeah, I didn't want him, and you're right. And these are the same people that are. I'm not talking about, Dan. I'm not saying that. I didn't hear Dan do that. I can't speak about that. But what I'm saying is, I know a lot of people. I'm trying to word this right here. A lot of people who wanted that team broken up are the same people throwing a fit about why'd we break them up. You're right about that. You're right about that. Because people forget that KCP was falling off. He was playing terrible. They were booing him. Caruso was hurt again at the end of the year, was always hurt. JaVale McGee got ran out of town. They had to trade him because people, he was so terrible on the court for us. Like, Frank Vogel was playing Avery Bradley as much as Darvin Ham was playing Taurean Prince and Cam Reddish. So, like, people forget that. I went back and looked at people's channels, like, for that time because I wanted to call BS on it. And I'm telling you, the amount of people who are screaming, we should have never broke up 2021. First of all, they always get it wrong. They said we should have never broke up 2020. We didn't break up 2020. We broke up 2021. But you're right. The same people who were throwing tantrums about 2021 are the same people now saying go back to 2021. Weirdos, man. What's going on, Patrick? What are you excited the most about this season? Are you excited? My excitement, Patrick, is to see what it is. I don't necessarily have expectations. I'm excited to see what this team looks like when the man who was blamed for everything is gone. This is what I was saying last year. I was not only saying that he needs to be let go, they should have done it already, not just because it's not working and there's no coming back from it. But I also wanted him gone just to show everybody, this was last year, because of all the injuries and everything, that it wasn't going to make a difference. Now, that was last year. You've got this year, a training camp, same roster, but kind of a new hope, a new belief. Got a really good draft pick, we hope. Hopefully some guys coming back healthy. So my mentality, because I know people try to use your words against you and twist it, my mentality right now is slightly different than last year. Last year, I was kind of like, okay, fire him so you guys can see that it's not just him, because I didn't believe it was. This year is a little different because I think that it can make an impact. However, I need to see it. I've hoped in 2022. I hoped in 2023. I hoped in 2024. I was buying what they were selling. I was listening to what they were saying. I am not doing that anymore. I'm not. I need to. And this isn't me being like, this ain't me being like a Lakers Scrooge or anything. I'm just saying, like, I really want to see this team play well. Until I see it, I'm not convinced I can believe it that this team is going to come out the gate and play strong, because we have not seen that since 2021. So I need to see that. And we're not really going to see that in the preseason, right? Because they're not going to be playing full minutes. I want to see that in game 1 of the regular season, and I want to see that in week 1 of the regular season. I'm okay with them losing some games, but they got to be in it. Got to like the way they're trending. Got to like the way they're competing, defending, moving the ball on offense, rebounding, getting back on defense, getting that real sense and a feel for this coaching staff. So what I'm excited about most, Patrick, is getting to see what my team is, because I don't know what they are. So for me, I don't really have expectations, because I don't know which way this is going to go. But I am excited to see what this new version is. Damn near same roster, but different situation. I want to see what that looks like. That's intrigued me since last year. How would they look if all you did was replace Darvin? That was last year. But things are not created equal this year, because you didn't just replace Darvin. You replaced Darvin and his staff with JJ and a solidified staff. So that's different this year. You replaced Gabe Vincent's knee with one that works. You replaced, that's probably it. You replaced the coach and the coaching staff. It would only have just been the coach last year. So it's different. It's different. So I'm excited to see what this era is. I'm excited to see all this talk that comes about the vibes and how happy this team looks, connected, excited, because I've been wanting that 2020 chemistry, that 2020 leadership. I've been praying for that. So that's what I'm excited to see, Patrick, is that there. That's what I want to see. I always thought Max would have start at the 2, but never expected D'Lo to still be here. But I know for a fact D'Lo is gone at the deadline. That market is cooked for him if he couldn't get another 1+1. We've thought that last year. We thought that this offseason. He's still here. So again, I got to see it, because I don't know. I legit don't know. And anyone telling you they do is lying. Purple and Gold says, hey, Jeff, can we start about the Christian Braun conversation again, please? Can we start about the Christian Braun? What do you mean? I don't understand. Purple and Gold. You are right about Phil Handley. He's amazing, but there are a lot of good player development coaches out there. College coaches have stashes of them. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. There's no shade to Phil Handley, but to act like the Lakers team success depends on whether Phil Handley is here or not is false. Jeff, Lakers need another wing. Bad. Reddish ankle cooked again. Vando hurt like always, but we still have other positions of need. Yep, facts. You think Jaden Ivey getting moved? What's his potential? I don't know if he's getting moved. He's got untapped potential, but again, potential on a team going nowhere where you're kind of playing free, or potential on a team playing with Braun and AD where the lights are bright and the pressure is high. It's hard to know how a guy will perform until he's actually here. We'll love Jaden Ivey as a backup point guard. Yep. Max should start. D'Lo and Reeves' skill sets seem to hinder each other's production. Yeah, I would not mind Max starting for defensive purposes. And I think he may be in stretches where he can potentially close out games if we need defense. Like if they're relying on him heavy enough, depending on how the game is going, I could potentially maybe see something like that. Did you see that Knicks loophole to trading multiple vet minimum contracts to pay one over the vet mins? Very smart. Didn't think that would be allowed. Yeah, Savage, that's not I wouldn't even call that a loophole, bro. Like, that's a known thread. That was in the last CBA. It's in this one. I've talked about this. I talked about this last year with who was it last year? I talked about it last year with Dennis. I talked about it last year with who else did I talk about it? Who's the other minimum guy in the Lakers last year? I talked about this. I talked about it with Malik Beasley not picking up his guarantee, or picking up and moving, or I'm getting him because he was going for the minimum and then using that. I've talked about this before. It's not a loophole in the CBA. It's part of the CBA, and it came with the last CBA. This is nothing new. If my mind was it the Pelicans. The Pelicans did this when they moved Steven Adams to Memphis. They did the same thing. This is not unheard of. This isn't a loophole. This is part of the CBA. I talked about this, and I was saying, like, when the Lakers, if any of these guys opted out and they can use them in a sign and trade, they'd have to get above the mini level because you can't aggregate them. So I've broken this down before. This is not I hate that it's called a loophole, because it's not. This is part of the CBA. It's part of it. The league didn't like it from the standpoint is because they're using players that the team had no intention of keeping. The difference is you couldn't do what you did years before, where you moved a guy who played for you 2 years ago and is retired, like the Lakers did with what's his name, Aaron McKee, right? You can't just take a guy that's retired, sign him, give him free money. And Van Horn, they did that with Van Horn in Jersey too. You can't take a guy like that, sign him and move him. But a guy who you have his rights from last season, you can. What made it rare is that they had a guy's rights from last season in October. That's what made it rare. And so it's not a loophole. It's knowing the CBA. Gotta love knowing the CBA. I love it. Elton says, Snoop Dogg said some big fish got to be moved to the Lakers to win. Who you think he was talking about? Probably Bron or AD. Let's see. Tamika, what's going on, Tamika? How you doing? Appreciate you tuning in. That would be like moving MPJ, Aaron Gordon for Bradley Beal. Would have been the same as a Lakers situation now. Yep. Rob Def disrespecting Bronny by standing still. Keo, no way, Empire Jeff back. Miss your voice. Hey, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I took a break from basketball. You know me, I've been locked in on baseball, man. Locked in on baseball, man. And but basketball's back. So I'm back. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. The radio voice is back, man. Even when KCP or Caruso didn't shoot well, they always hounded the ball out of guys on the defense. Can't take dirty work for granted. You can't, but a lot of Laker fans don't appreciate dirty work when it doesn't come with offense, right? BC, shouting people out. Let me mind my business. Go Dodgers, absolutely. What's going on, BC, man? Appreciate you. Saw you making the rounds earlier, man. Go Lakers, absolutely again. Yes, sir. The Thinker, 869. I'm not really optimistic too much. First of all, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you. If it's your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. Everyone else, drop a like on the video if you have not done so already, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter. I see you rocking heavy as always. Drop a like and repost as well. Savage says Kuz and Trez for Healed would also been asked, but at least we would have kept KCP. But your Nuggets could Aaron Gordon go on, let go of Aaron Gordon because they're cheap. Yeah, there's a lot of things like they were breaking that up regardless. Like they were breaking that up, some level of it to it. It wasn't just going to be Russ. And I don't know if Buddy would have been terrible. I don't think he would have been worse than Russ, right? Because he wouldn't have been the problematic. He would have fit better with Bron and AD. Wouldn't have been the star that people were looking for, but he would have fit better. That's just my personal opinion. The Thinker says, I feel like we should start to rebuild now. We can't compete and still rebuild. We can't do both. Our front office needs a presence also, Jeff. You're right about that. I've spoken on that. Here's my thing. And I don't want to, I'm probably going to get killed for this, but I really do mean it. I don't believe that Rob is a bad GM. Let me finish before y'all start rolling your eyes or you click the X to get out of the show here. I don't think Rob is a bad GM. I think he's a bad president. I think Rob working the day-to-day, knowing the CBA, being able to make phone calls, like I said, the day-to-day portion, Rob just should not be the decision maker. There should be a president between him and Jeannie that makes final decisions and runs the basketball operations department. I think that Pelinka is a good GM of day-to-day. I absolutely think he is. He's just not a guy that should be the president. He's not that guy. He's not. If the Lakers really want a better front office, they need a president, they need a GM, they need assistant GM, and they need proper scouts. Until the Lakers invest in that, they're going to continue to have problems. Now, Rob will hit on some things, and he will definitely miss on some things. But when the final answer in basketball operations is Jeannie Buss, no shade to Jeannie, that was never supposed to be her role. Ever. Bless her heart, she did her best to try to fill it. But that's not, nor will it ever be her role. The team needs a true president of basketball operations. And then let Pelinka be the GM. That's just what I believe. Patrick says, Jeff, what's with Vando? Everything about him is so negative now. Yeah. Well, I mean, I told you guys last year he wasn't coming back. I told you guys in game 5, there's no way he was playing. They just activated him because they were playing games. I told you guys this last year. I did a video this as soon as Vando's injury was updated, where they said they're going to reevaluate him in a certain amount of time. I'm like, guys, I don't think he's coming back. I did a video. It's on my channel. I did one saying he's not coming back. People were clowning me. People were talking trash. Oh, he thinks he knows it. That injury, he wasn't coming back from it. If he wasn't having surgery, he wasn't coming back. He realized he wasn't going to come back. He tried to wait it out without having surgery. It wasn't healing properly. They went in to do one thing. They said, while we're doing this, we might as well do the other. And now he's in recovery. He should have just had the surgery last year. He never made it back anyways. He would have been back to 100% in the middle of the offseason. He'd be good to go. But he didn't. And we're here now. Hopefully he makes it back healthy and able to contribute this year, because this team is going to very much need him to guard wings. We don't have an identity, people, to be honest, compared to Stephen A's Knicks, and that starts from the top. We don't have really an identity. That's what I'm hoping for us to see this year. I'm hoping to see, can they establish one? Major, U.S. Major 2000. What's going on, man? Sorry. I always say her name. I'm going to call you Major. I really don't get the Max hype as a defensive stopper. I don't think anyone could call him a stopper. And if I've mixed my words to lead that down the path that's what I mean, I apologize. I don't believe for a second that Max is a stopper. Maybe he can turn into one, maybe, but I'm still not even convinced of that. I think Max as a willing defender can make life a little difficult. I think Max's ability to recover is better than someone like an Austin Reeves. His length, his bounce, athleticism, but a stopper, I would never go that far to label him a stopper. Shando says, the fact people were saying we should have kept D'Lo instead of Reeves are brain dead beyond belief. Yeah, I find it like people like, there's guys that don't like either, but then there's always that argument of which one is better. I think D'Lo is better than Reeves, but I think Reeves, okay, D'Lo is better than Austin, but I trust Austin more than D'Lo, if that makes sense. Is Max not too small to play 6'5", 6'6"? He's more of a 2 than a 3. Well, I think he guards the 2s, but I think in a switching situation, you'd much rather have Max switch onto a guy than Austin, I guess is my point. Patrick says, Rob is not a PR guy. Bob Myers is a PR GM guy. Yeah, he's not. Not at all. Keo says, seems like JJ pushing the right buttons. Hope it all pays off on the court. Yep, me too. Definitely hope it pays off. Dan Wolke said a proper timeline for Vando is early November, which is annoying. Yeah. Well, early November is not too long after the start of the season. So that I could live with. I know it seemed like maybe Christian Wood is actually a little more ahead of the timeline that they told us, which is promising as well. So we'll have to see how it goes, man. Young Padawan, appreciate you for tuning in. Vando probably not playing this year. Having surgeries on both feet is nuts, to be honest. It is. I think he will play this year. I'm just very curious to see how effective he's going to be because he's important. Irvin Magic Johnson is the answer, Jeff. No, he's not. No, he's not. You stop that, purple and gold. You stop that right now. Diggs, what's going on? What's going on, Diggs? Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Pull it up on Twitch. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone on Twitch. Shout out to everyone on YouTube. Shout out to everyone on Twitter. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Whatever platform you are on, if you are not following me or subscribed to me, please do so. Drop a like on the video on YouTube. Repost this joint everywhere, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's Jeff and them again. Put it out there into the universe, man. We talk basketball. We talk baseball over here, man. And everyone is welcome from all teams, all player stands. Everyone just be respectful. You know what I mean? But appreciate everyone tuning in. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Katie said, hold on, guys. My screen just blacked out here. One second. It is not ideal. Hold on. Not even sure if I'm live here now. My screen just blacked out. 1 second here. No clue what happened. 1 second here. Okay, so I'm still live, apparently, but I could not see the chat on my computer. So 1 second. I don't know what just happened. Give me 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. Technical difficulties. Do not know what caused this. Just bear with me a second, please. All right. I think it's my browser that goofed up here. Yeah, it was. So hold on. All right, just bear with me a second, guys. I am God, this is terrible. I haven't seen this happen before, so I might have to restart my computer, which is a bummer because I'm in the middle of a stream here. But let me get let me know if you guys can still hear me, man. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. It looks like I'm still live. I'm looking at my phone and I still see my stream, my stream. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. We back. I have no idea what just happened right now. I apologize, but my screen just came back up. Technology. Apologize, guys. What's going on, KD, man? Hope you're doing well. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I did an update before I did my show. Probably have to restart my computer, but I'll do that after the show. Thanks for hanging in. Appreciate it. Gemini Don, what's going on, man? Appreciate you, big homie. Peace, Jeff. Salute. I definitely think JJ will be totally different from Ham. Agreed. And he has 2 experienced former head coaches that'll definitely help. Hopefully, for once, we're a top 4 seed in the East. Say it again. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Young Padawan says, Jeff, what do you think is going to happen to Pete? I'm leaving that alone, man. You know what? It's a terrible situation, a disgusting situation, and there's a lot of people clout chasing on it. You know what I mean? I think we all know what's going to happen one way or another. And I'm gonna leave it at that. And I just think this is the beginning of it. And this situation is crazy, man. Savage says, I just don't think D'Lo was built for the playoff against strong guard defenders. People love saying Warriors and Grizzlies series. They didn't any of those. Only the Nuggets did. I think D'Lo can't be your killer in the backcourt against teams like that. Bake can be the guy. D'Lo can catch and shoot, but that's kind of like a secondary counter once he gets going, shooting off the dribble. If you get D'Lo going, kind of get him, if you can work with him to maybe in that situation against those type of players to take him out of his kind of rhythm there and turn him into a catch and shoot guy, then maybe you can escape it. But I think you're right about that. Speaking of baseball, I'm ready for my Yankees on their journey to number 28. Great baseball game so far. Mets have a do or die game tomorrow. I love this time of the year, playoff baseball. Facts. These have been great playoffs, man. Great. I'm enjoying it, loving it. And now we got basketball back, NFL here. We got a lot going on right now. And absolutely love what I'm seeing. I'm glued to this baseball, man. I had a show earlier where I broke down all the wild card coverage. Go ahead and check it out from earlier. And now I'm back talking basketball tonight. But I'm loving it too. I'm hoping that it's Yankees Dodgers in the World Series. That was my prediction from the get-go. I still think it's going to be that. No problems. You good. Cool. Appreciate it. Patrick says, Jeff, first 10 games, are we over 500? I don't know. I got to see how these dudes are, man. I'm not doing any predictions yet. Just for the standpoint of I haven't seen them. I've got to see them play a little bit before I can wonder here. We can hear you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Catching up to where my computer tried to fall flat on its face here. Amari's, what's going on, man? What's up, Jeff? Ready for another season? Did you see the Mavs picking up Vogel? They might really do it this year, man. That's a good pickup. I was arguing with people last year, well, before he became coach of the Suns, why haven't teams picked him up as an assistant? He'd be an excellent assistant, man. Shout out. Good for Frank, man. I love that. Good for Frank. So Jason Kidd looking out for him. Him going with Kidd after he took on Kidd. Kind of lucky crying. It comes full circle. I like that. I love that. Good for Frank, man. I don't know if Rui can become a more mobile, shifty defender and D'Lo def not becoming none of the either. I don't think Rui can, man, on defense, to be honest. Jeff, would Braun be able to suit up for the Lakers this season knowing he was, leave that alone. Come on, man. You think we should hire LeVar Ball as our next head coach? No. Where is Christian Coloco? Hopefully we see him soon. He's not medically cleared yet, Omari, so we got to wait till that's done. That was a life-threatening injury. Got to wait that out. You think we should hire LeVar Ball as our assistant? No, definitely not. Hell to the no. We should not do that by any stretch of the words. No team in the league should do that. None. That's wild. That's wild. 1 second here. But yeah, man, on that note, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. Been here about an hour and a half. Did a stream earlier on baseball, so I'm tapped out tonight. Appreciate y'all for being here tonight. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. You know, I love that. So I'm excited to see what this team is, man. And we'll know Friday. We'll get a glimpse of it. We won't fully know, but we'll get a glimpse of it. We got Laker basketball in less than 48 hours. I'm happy about that. We got Dodger baseball on Saturday and Sunday, man, at Dodger Stadium. Go Dodgers. Go Lakers. Drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Shout out to everyone on all platforms that are watching tonight. I thank you guys. You have a great rest of your night. You guys have a great Thursday. Enjoy some playoff baseball games tomorrow if you guys are watching. I'll tap in with you guys tomorrow. You are appreciated as always. I'm out of here. Go Dodgers. Go Lakers. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, man.